working on the Lexus, and today we're doing a battery relocation. So the goal is to get this battery to the trunk. And the reason why we need to do that is because we need to relocate the ABS to right there, because once I turbo this, the turbo will sit way too close to this and melt the lines. So initially we're doing all this just to prep to when we go turbo. So this is the episode 2 of the turbo series. I think the last video I did was a couple years back. It's been a long time and I haven't continued this series because I sent out my motor to get built. Videos of the process once I get my motor back from it getting built, but we've gone through some hoops from the first builder we went to. It was just a horrible process, so we got our stuff back and we took it somewhere else. It seems like the new builder is gonna get it done way sooner than expected, so I'm just gonna go ahead and prep all of this. So once my motor is here, it's just ready to get this out and put it in. So right now, I'm gonna go ahead and just remove all of this to prep to get that ABS unit out as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take all of this off, take the battery off, and then we'll go from there. Airbox is off, battery's off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take off the base of the battery tray right there. Battery tray is now off. It was just 3 10mm bolts and it just slides out. Now what's next is we need to prep our terminals or whatever, or wires. So this one, we're gonna take off the terminal here and we're gonna reuse the wires from the junction box, and that one goes to the starter. So as you can see here, you just take off this nut and then pretty much these 2 wires are pretty much free. And what I'm trying to do is put it to this kind of distribution box thing. I'm gonna mount this somewhere here, and then I'm gonna route my power wire from down there and just route it all the way down to the battery. So that wire is gonna pretty much give power to all of this. And this negative wire, you're gonna pretty much follow it down here, and it goes, and it's that wire right there. You're gonna take that off, and we're pretty much not gonna need that anymore. So there's that negative cable that I was telling you about that you won't need anymore, and here's the power cable that I will be running from the front of the car all the way to the trunk. And the goal is to squeeze it in through that passage right there, then just bring it in and run it all the way in there and keep going in here, and then pretty much back here where the battery will be. I haven't got a bracket yet for the battery, so it's gonna look something like this. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and take off these plastics so I can run the cable. So the way I ran my wire through the grommet is I taped a nice metal thing right here, like a little skinny metal rod, just taped it through, stabbed it straight through the grommet, then I'm gonna just reel it in, and then yeah, all good. Okay, so I got my power wire ran through all the way. I got my distribution block drilled to my body right there. I got my starter wire and junction box, fuse box, whatever, connected right there. And that's how she looks from there. The only thing I hope for is once I relocate the ABS, it won't be in the way, but I don't think so. Here's the bracket, and that's where it's gonna mount. I think it will clear. And I already ran my wire all the way. See, you can't even notice it was even there. And all the way through the back seat. And right there she is. Alright, so I did leave that off for a bit because I was gonna receive this, and it is now here. This is the battery bracket that I will be running to relocate the battery to the trunk. You can see, super cool, battery goes in there, and then this is pretty much the brace to hold it down. Now I think the hardest part is gonna be to figure out how to mount this in the trunk, because the trunk is very awkward. And this is what I meant about it being awkward. Like, there's just this panel that goes up right here, and then right here would be pretty cool, but the spare tire is kind of in the way. It's just like, ugh. And back there would be pretty cool, but there's like a big EVAP canister thing in there, so that's a no-go too. Okay, I think I'm gonna do it this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it like this. I'm gonna drill 2 holes right there, and then nuts are those 2 holes, then that's pretty much gonna hold it down, and I think it should be fine like that. Okay, so I pretty much got my battery secure, and this bad boy isn't going nowhere. I will eventually get a little better battery that'll fit a little nicer, but for now, this will do. Now I wanna install my 250 amp breaker right here, so I'm just gonna cut a part of the line, a little section, put that on there, put the other section to that terminal, and it will connect to the battery. Okay, so I got my power wire straight to my amp, and then it's going out to my battery with the new post. I got my negative right there as well, going straight to the frame right there. This thing is looking good. I just need to get the cover back on. Need to drill 2 more holes on the cover and put that on top. That way you won't see none of this, and it's gonna look a lot cleaner. So this is what it looks like so far with the cover on. I got my screws on there, and I also countersunk them too, so it looks nice and flat. It looks super nice, and I mean, the mount itself isn't going nowhere. And there you go. That's how it looks like, all nice and complete. I do need to get a nicer battery because this one is ugly, but this will do for now until that gets bad. Also forgot to mention that I did add an extra ground to the chassis to the motor, since I did delete 1 ground to the motor, so I just did that one, and it looks like that. I might switch it up later, but for now I did it straight to the motor mount to the chassis right here. But there she goes. That is it right there. Now let's go see if it's gonna start. All right, now let's see if it'll start. We got power, so that's a good sign. Now let's go ahead and start it up. Woo, there you go. It worked. But there's that for the battery relocation. Started up real nice. So now the next thing to do is the ABS relocation. I did already start it, but that'll be for the next video. Thank you so much for watching and supporting, and stay tuned for the next one.